Welcome, everyone, to Anime Lounge Podcast. I am one of your hosts, Lance, and I am here with my other two co-hosts, Matt and Ricky. We have a great episode here today, and today we are talking about Fire Force Seasons 1 and 2. Each season consists of 24 episodes, making 48 in total. As per tradition, we would like to introduce today's drinks of choice, and today I am drinking Brickyard Straight Bourbon Whiskey. What about you, Matt?
Today I am drinking Basil Hayden's Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey. And what about you, Ricky?
I'm enjoying a Glenmorangie 10-year Scotch, and I'm chasing down with a Busch Light. Alright, so now that we got that taken care of, Matt, do you have a quick summary, something to remind the viewers or the listeners of the anime? We're taking this as everybody's seen it, so there's obviously going to be spoilers or whatever. But go ahead with the summary if you got it.
Okay, so this anime is about Shinra Kusakabe, who is a third-generation pyrokinetic. He was given the nickname Devil's Footprints by his ability to use fire from his feet and his smile, his nervous smile that he has that makes him kind of look like a devil. He is a part of the Special Fire Force Company H, which features other pyrokinetics, and their goal is to investigate companies 1 through 7 for potential corruption within the fire force. Shinra also learned that his family was not killed in that fire, and that the fire was a cover-up to take Sho, because Sho has what they call an Adola Burst, which is a purified flame, and people that took him, they call them the White Clads, which are a cult that is trying to gather all of the Adola Burst individuals to bring destruction back to the world that happened 250 years ago. Lance, so what is going to be our license lessons for today?
Alright, let's get this started. Today's Lance's lesson is going to be the Japanese word for fire. It is Inoru, spelled I-N-O-R-U.
Alright, I like that, Inoru.
Nice and simple. You can find that on our Facebook pages. Alright, so, Ricky, let's talk a little bit more about Fire Force.
What do you want to know, man?
Well, what do you like most?
What do you like the most?
Yeah.
As we discussed before, it took me a while to get into it. It took me a little bit. I watched the first couple episodes. I couldn't really get into well, I guess there was really no storyline yet. But give me like a couple episodes in, and it becomes a badass anime, man. Mm-hmm. I know the summary went into with Shinra Kusakabe. He's a great character, but there's a lot other characters that you get into that it's just incredible that they're stronger than he is at the moment. But you get to find out their storylines. So I like that they went into people's backstory. So that's one of my favorite things. What about you, Matt?
Definitely one of my favorite things about this is just the fighting and all of the humor that they have into everything, because they have a bunch of just random funny moments, and then they have a lot of characters. I like that, the fact that it's just not about Shinra, and they get everybody involved into this. I haven't seen too many animes where they bring religion so hard into it, and how
that's a huge thing. Yeah,
how religion can help dictate pretty much everything. Because as you find out that the original but the original priest was actually a part of the White Clan. So it's just one of those things where...
the shapeshifter.
Yeah, the shapeshifter.
Yeah.
And so it's how they bring everything together. I really enjoyed that part. And then the fighting is it's super intense, how they use all the flames. And then everybody has different abilities and how they get all the abilities to work together. Really enjoyed that part. What about you, Lance?
Yeah, I think, personally to me, I know I said this for Reincarnated as Slime, just the fight scenes are just so badass. And the what I like to call the base bursting fire attacks. And I think I pulled it up real quick. Let's see if I can play this in the background just when I'm talking about.
Sight for sore eyes.
Okay, maybe I didn't get that right. Anyway, if you watch, clearly you watch the episodes and you know what I'm talking about. It's just if I listen to everything like with a microphone or the headphone, like I got something in my ear going at the same time, so I can hear everything so clearly. And just that bass busting move, I can never get enough of that. They do that so often.
That like fire that goes off of his feet. What are you talking about?
Just anytime they use a fire attack, like
okay.
Because
you hit on a point that I was about to bring up, where like he hits it like his Adola burst, Shinra, just like that sound it makes. It's just it's amazing. It's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
I love hearing it.
Yeah, everything. I'm sorry to cut you off. Just in general, all the fire powers. I love like the character development.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if you just want to start talking about a couple of characters, like Arthur. Fucking hated him in the beginning of season 1 through season 1, but like I grew to really appreciate his dumb self, his comedy. Like not that he's a funny guy in himself, but you just laugh at his dumbness. And like I just love how his imagination is what boosts his power. Thinking he's a knight and he's running this kingdom. And
well, I like the fact that they go into his backstory and why he does this.
Into season 2.
Yeah. His parents leaving him, that's super traumatic, and then the only thing he gets from his dad is, hey, use your imagination because that'll help you through life. Because
that's a funny thing that you bring up too, is like the other people that he was telling this story to, like they called him out. I forgot who was all there, but they called him out like, dude, your parents left you. Like,
yeah.
It's like, no, they went on a trip.
Didn't even phase him. Just totally cool about it.
So, before we get into the other characters, who is your favorite character and why? Lance, let me know.
Okay, if you're letting me go first, I think I might want to steal a lot of people's favorite, and also just like when we did Reincarnated Slime, the name Benimaru.
Oh, god damn it, man!
Of course. If you're letting me go, like I said, if you're letting me go first, I'm going to steal Benimaru because God, he's such a badass. And we can see, like, obviously, the way he can take out that demon Infernal, where he fucking rode like a witch's broom up into the sky, and then did his moon blast attack in the sky, so that he does no more damage on the ground. But he takes that guy out, and it just his knowledge of fire attacks, and when he introduces kata, that we can talk more about in a little bit with the finger movement, the finger placements. Yeah, he's number one. He's number one for a reason. So, sorry to steal that right off the bat, but what about you, Matt?
I would definitely say Benimaru, but I'm very interested in Joker.
Oh, yes.
Oh, god damn it, man.
So they go into his backstory and just, like, when I first saw him, I'm like, all right, what's going on with this guy?
Mm-hmm.
And then you get a little, it's kind of like an onion. You get a little bit of all the details, but still not quite to the end.
You talking about his backstory?
Talk just him in general. Like, it's like, okay, who is this guy? Because when you first meet him, he's like, all right, this guy's definitely the villain.
Yeah, he's like the bad guy, but we find out he's not.
So this is perfect. Now that we're talking about him, because that's one of my favorites too. Mm-hmm. But I don't want to forget about this. They do go into the backstory. He knows Burns, captain of the number 1 station, or station number 1, or whatever.
Yep.
And there's this scene where that one guy that was like training him, that kind of like beats him up with his whip, or whatever.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Are they implying? And then he like grabs him, in his chest. Are they implying that that he had sexual relations with him?
Not wanting. It was 100% force.
Oh yeah, no, definitely force. But when he appears from behind and grabs him,
you could definitely imply that. Yes, yeah, you can, because he says that I want to basically rock him to the bone, like destroy him from the inside.
Yeah, and that's kind of what
it's one of those things you can imply. Yes, that he raped him.
Because I knew he had a fucked up backstory. I knew but I'm glad. Like I said, why I like this anime. They go into people's backstory, and they finally went into Joker's. Mm-hmm. And damn, man, sorry to cut you off, man, but yeah, Joker's probably one of my other favorites too. Which kind of leads me to Captain Burns now. I want to see more of a storyline with those three.
Yeah, that'd be a good thing to see.
And Joker's still just a badass. He's got that cool factor about him too.
Yeah.
He's got that magical card attack.
He reminds me of Gambit from
Gambit,
X-Men.
X-Men.
Yep. He's a badass character. I like him a lot.
He's just very subtle and everything. Yeah, he's definitely.
But
he's just as knowledgeable too.
As Lance said, all-time favorite though, Shimon Benimaru.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's how he likes to be called.
Yeah, he likes the full
name.
title.
Yes, because he is a traditionalist or imperialist, I think that's what they call him.
And he's from Station 7.
Yes.
I like his character. Obviously, I like his demeanor, but I also like his I don't know. I guess you could kind of say like his environment, because like he kind of straight up tells them like, we don't care about your religion, this and that. Thanks for inviting us to the Fire Force, but we're gonna still do our thing.
No.
For some reason, it's like reminded me of like Sons of Anarchy, just that type of mentality. They were in society's eyes bad guys, but they were trying to do good shit.
Yeah.
So I like their station.
Yeah. I don't know how I really felt about. He's got that modesty to him too, where he doesn't want to be the leader of his company. Like he wants Conroe as superior, basically, to make all the rules. He just wants to just live. Yeah.
He wants to live and fight. That's all he wants, and take care of his people.
Yeah. He wants to be a Goku kind of thing. He wants to find the strongest opponent because he's itching for a good fight.
Oh yeah.
If you guys haven't picked up on the fights he's been in.
Oh yeah, he's always been fighting the demon.
So
his ass.
Speaking of fights, which is your favorite fight from the 2 seasons?
Ooh, not quite prepared for this one. You got one, Ricky?
Favorite fight scene? Man, I don't know.
Well, I guess
there's a lot of them.
I guess I can steal one real quick.
Go for it.
Basically the season finale of season 1 with Shinra versus Sho. Love the concept of slowing down time and speeding up time. How Sho can stop time, freeze time, and he can move through it freely. But then Shinra, through his grace that he stole from Sho, can go beyond the speed of light to essentially counter slowing down time. And I liked all the fun sciencey stuff they threw into that. That's what really got me going. So I guess I can say that. The fight scene itself was pretty cool, but I think the concept behind all the science stuff is what really brought me in. That one's definitely in my heart for the number 1 spot. What about you guys?
Well, I haven't really thought about a great fight scene, but now that you bring that up, it actually brings out a good point that I really like how real it is, like the realism of this anime, because you have Shinra, who's a fire soldier, and like, I'm not saying he's stupid, I'm not saying he's dumb, whatever, but he's just like a regular guy that doesn't, he knows his stuff, he knows his street smarts, whatever. But then, during that fight with Sho, you have the scientist, Victor Light, or Leet, whatever his name is, and he's like analyzing and trying to figure out what Sho's power is.
Right.
And so is Shinra. But you obviously see that Victor analyzes it faster, figures it out, and then throughout that episode, he's like telling Shinra, like, hey, he can do this, because of that.
Right.
I like that. It's like realistic that obviously Shinra, he's smart, but he's not
he's the bonehead that's doing everything regardless.
He's a grunt right now. Yeah. But he doesn't have that scientific smartness of himself. So they kind of make that connection, like, hey, how is he going to find out what his brother can do? Well, we have this scientist.
Proved how smart Victor was.
So the small details is what I really like about this anime.
Yeah, man. I guess my favorite one, I would say the Sho and Shinra fight was my second favorite, and then the Joker fight when he fights the shadows, like the entire time when Benimaru and that whole fight was probably my favorite, just because you get Benimaru being a badass and taking 20 of the super assassins on at once, and it's just like, this is kind of a joke. And you get to see all of Joker's kind of smoke and mirrors, and that fight, probably my favorite fight of them all.
I would have to agree with you. Like, even though it wasn't like big bombs here and there, give me a fight with Benimaru in it, bro. I would love it anytime. I love that dude. That dude's so nonchalant, and like I said, I love his humbleness.
No,
so. I actually did have a question for you guys. What station would you pick and why to be in?
Good question. Well, Station 1 kind of seems like to be the strongest just because Captain Burns is in there. And then
Which
We're
must
so-
be the most religious in Station 1.
They are probably the most religious. Then we have, we only really know in detail of 3 companies. We have 1, 7, and 8. Captain
We have
Burns.
1, 2, Juggernauts and 2. I don't know if you remember Juggernaut.
That's
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, I wanna talk about
military one.
So yeah, we do, honestly, we know a lot of stations. We know 1,
Mhm.
you know, probably the most religious one. 2, you have Juggernaut, and you have Juggernaut, and you have that one spiky hair kid with the great precision. I want to talk about that later, by the way. 3, I don't think we met 3. 4, 4 is like the training facility. That's where you met Lieutenant Pond, or not Pond. Pond, and you met that
Princess Hibana was in Fire Force 5 with all the ouchies.
That's the military. Or who? Oh no, yeah, Hibana. Yeah, she was like basically evil in the beginning, and she turns good, and she has a huge crush on Shinra.
That's so funny.
My god!
Like in season 2, where that one guy is like, "Oh, is this your boyfriend or something like that?" And then she was like all flustered and hugging herself, like, "Oh, you really think we're together?"
Even before that, do you remember that episode?
Oh, the entire the second half
that
of
episode
season 1.
where they were doing the firefighter calendars.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god, man!
That fucking filler episode. I was watching that at work. I just wanted to make sure no one was watching me watch that episode. Bunch of half naked dudes.
Hey, bro, I feel you on that. So I was in my living room, and the kids were at school. You know, I was just hanging out. I was trying to catch up, and I got a 70-inch TV, and it's facing outside. I got a huge bay window.
Public world.
I have a huge bay window, and I'm
Please
watching it.
tell
I'm
me
chilling, I'm trying to catch up, taking notes, and I see this episode, and they're like just flexing as you. I'm like, whoa!
If anybody watches me watch,
I feel ashamed of myself, first of all, and then I'm like, this huge bay window's behind me, and I'm on the couch, and I'm looking back there. It's like, all right, I should probably shut the curtains.
Yeah.
But it seems a little suspicious shutting the curtains in the middle of the day when there's beautiful sunlight coming in.
Yeah. And you see some tissues off to the side. No, I'm kidding.
Just to kind of give a once through for all the fire.
Yeah, go for it. That'll be
Fire
a big help.
companies. So 1 is, they call it the Holy Soul Temple. So that's company 1. And then company 2 is the Army's company.
Yep.
3 is Hajima Industries. Okay. And then that's
4 is the training company. I know that.
4 is the training one. So the third one is the one where the captain from 8, drawing a blank on his name. Obi. He witnessed the guys basically placing bets.
Oh yeah.
So that's the third.
Fire.
That's the third company, and then
placing bets on what?
Taking out the strongest infernals.
Yeah.
We got. I don't know. It was earlier in season 1. The reason why Captain Obi wanted to create his own force with Lieutenant Hinawa.
Yep.
Is because there is that lady that her husband was turning infernal, but Company 3 refused to even take care of that one single infernal because all of the employees wouldn't have got paid enough because it's just a whatever infernal. It wasn't going to be worth their time, essentially.
So he went in there and put it to rest by himself.
That's where he met the lieutenant.
Yeah.
Yeah, right afterwards.
Yep.
And then the lieutenant's like, I respect you.
So that was company 3, and then 4 is the training company, and 5 is with Hibana. 6 is the medical one. So that's where Shinra gets his
Dr. Huang
surgery from.
Yeah.
And then 7 is obviously Benimaru's, and then 8 is Obi's. Just kind of give a quick once through about it.
Perfect. All right, so back to the question. What force would you guys join?
Matt, go ahead.
I would probably want to go with 7, just because they're the most. We kind of just want to do what we want to do and leave it at that. Let us be our own company. We'll help. We'll do what we can. But other than that, don't get me involved. Right? Because they do practice their own kind of religion, which is basically everybody for themselves, and then they're not too religious in any other aspect, and they kind of just want to do their own thing and be strong. And I can appreciate that. What about you, Ricky?
Any chance I can get close to Shimon or Benimaru, man, I'm going with him. Station 7, just because of that dude. Like just talking about him again, I kind of want to bring up just a dumb scene that I'm just kind of upset about is when Benimaru and Joker try to break into they break into the Holy Temple, or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But Benimaru got hit by
a poison dart.
Poison dart.
Yeah.
What was that about?
So basically one of the cardinals had a blow dart and hit him with poison that was supposed to basically kill like an elephant.
Yeah.
Like,
okay,
yeah,
I understand that fact.
But he was
how
able
the
to.
fuck did that poison dart get to him?
That's kind of the point. It's like you couldn't see it.
It happened so quick.
And
because they did explain that they like shot at him.
Yeah.
Well, but not really. Joker picks it up as a poison dart, whatever. But that's Benimaru can see like he's so fucking fast. He can see everything. He can sense everything. Like how does that little poison dart get to him?
Oh yeah.
Like yeah, I'm glad he didn't kill him.
Right. Like he's so gifted in the combat world. How did this slide past him?
Exactly.
Right.
Like you can hear somebody's breath that's trying to kill you.
The breath.
The breath of
life.
Death. The breath of life, or whatever. But a poison dart, like a dart.
Mm-hmm.
There's no killing intent behind a dart. It's just an inanimate object.
Well, I get that, but still, man, I don't know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you watch these types of animes, you see, like, he's very powerful, but a little dart's gonna potentially kill him. When he went face down on the fucking pavement, I was like, I don't even want to watch this shit anymore.
Yeah, but then they show his strength because he gets up because it didn't affect him that well. So I guess that whole scene was just to prove how badass he is.
Yeah, but obviously we know. Mm-hmm. So after my little rant, Lance, what do you think? What is your favorite?
I want some Hibana action. I want her to step on me with some Company 5 is my no, I'm kidding. Let's just be lame and go Company 8. We see them often enough. We see how much fun they have. We see their training regimen. Captain Obi, you gotta give him his respect. The dude's fucking badass. He doesn't have any firepower, and yet there he is, taking on anything and everything.
I train every day.
Yeah,
that's his quote, bro.
Yeah, and if I wasn't working my fucking 12-hour shifts, that would motivate me to get in that gym and pump a little bit harder. But yeah, just Captain Obi, I can follow him. He's Lieutenant Hinawa with his crazy looking eyes. You guys ever notice how crazy he looks?
Oh yeah,
God,
and horrible sense of style. Yeah, yeah. Horrible.
Yeah, they make a point to that one, but yeah, I can follow those two. Really motivating. You guys want to talk about some characters that we may not like?
Do you have a character that you don't like?
Yeah, fucking Victor Lee.
Why?
The way he talks bothers the crap out of me.
I kind of like he sells his little craziness.
Oh, it definitely sells the craziness. And, like, I can give the respect of his character, but it still bothers me.
Really?
Yeah. Well, you guys, I really don't know what's going on here, but I don't know, something along those lines.
Damn, hey, that was spot on, man. That was pretty good impersonation.
Like, he cares, but he doesn't care, and, like, whatever. But, like, I don't know. It's just a little tick that always punches at me.
So, he bothers you because of his voice. I mean, what about his character?
Oh, like, I totally love how smart he is about everything. And, like, in Season 2 where he explains, like, in Season 2 when the girl that makes all the infernals explode, so the tunnels are going to be flooded with fire.
Yeah.
He explains that since they're underground, the flames would extinguish themselves if, what was it, Tamaki or Maki? I think it was Maki. Maki and her brother force the fire even further into the ground to put themselves out because it's already cold and whatnot.
I agree with you on that. I like the science on it.
Yeah, that's his only redeeming factor. Is when he talks. Oh, maybe if I listen to him in Japanese, maybe it'll be a different story. I guess I only watch this in English, so I don't know the difference.
And
but
when you read the manga,
you're not going to know the difference anyway.
You just kind of get to whatever personality you want out of him.
Yeah, right.
And I take him just kind of as your scientist who's like, I didn't sign up for this.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want to do this, and then he's there anyway. So,
you guys have any characters you disliked?
I definitely can't say I didn't like any characters. I know. One thing I'll bring up.
Wait. You didn't like any characters? Or
not that I didn't. There's no characters that I disliked.
Oh, okay.
One thing I'll bring up is something that I saw on the internet quite a bit. It's just a lot of people complaining about how useless the women are. Like there's no.
I think they like to do that for every anime. And I see that a lot.
And you see some of them they actually do some development in it. So I don't quite understand why everybody hates on it. Like Tamaki, it's like Tamaki is pointless. So it's like if you watch the end of season 2, she's getting a little bit of character development. Yeah, at first she's kind of just there, but
Being a fan service.
But not every single character.
Oh, bro, there's definitely fan service.
Not as much as others. Tamaki is the fan service.
Tamaki is the fan service. And then, yeah.
So it's, but at least, they didn't just put her there and then say, oh, here you go. They're attempting, they're just taking a minute for her to actually develop more beyond what she was as a person.
Right.
Just kind of something I want to bring up. Ricky, are there any characters you didn't like?
Honestly, everybody kind of ties in and kind of puts in their little
worth.
Yeah. That's probably the best word I can use. No, there's actually no character I didn't like. I just liked. I kind of liked everybody. Everybody puts in their stories in there and kind of puts in whatever they're worth. If I can kind of like twist it up a little bit, there is one character that I'm disappointed about. Is season 2, later on in season 2, when they go into the Nethers again. I can't remember his name, but it's that one character that Juggernaut knew. He went to school with him, the academy with him. And he's a badass. They explain he's a badass. He can
he can see heat?
He can see everything. He can see heat. He can see where you are.
Oh, I know
and then he gets
going.
sliced.
His head just plops off, just like that.
He just gets killed in the second. And it's like, oh, bro.
Yeah, they
could have made him a badass character.
You got like half an episode to see how this guy is, how cool he is, and boom, he's gone.
And then 3 steps forward and he's dead.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was starting to look forward to that guy too.
Yeah, so I was kind of excited to see him a little bit more. They killed him off the same fucking episode they
introduced him.
Yeah.
Right.
But he was a catalyst for Juggernaut.
True.
Becoming what he became. So,
which was going to be my next person that I disliked was Juggernaut.
Really?
Yeah, just because.
Okay, I agree with you. Go ahead.
Not necessarily that I hated him, but just points that it's just the people that sit there and complain a lot and don't want to have any worth are always the annoying characters in my eyes. Because he wanted to join because he wanted to get stronger. He was always afraid of fire. And that was always really annoying. Even though he had these missile attacks, and in season 2 he brings up that Gatling gun, which was pretty badass. I mean, he definitely redeemed himself after got decapitated, and he wanted to save Tamaki. But I didn't like how quick they were going to make him survive everything. Like, this dude's getting holes blown in him left and right.
I don't understand that. That's a great point. I want to get into that later. Go for it.
So he survives all of that. Like, I'm not going to give hate on his southern accent because there's nothing wrong with that, and his potato obsession.
I like that they try to bring a different culture.
Oh yeah, and to me that was more comical than anything. Like, I can appreciate that, but like I said, it's just his complaining that I disliked. But then again, when he wanted to protect Tamaki, that's when he started getting redeemed. I can really go from there. But yeah, they brought him back to life, I think a total of 3 times. First time was the beginning of season 2, I think it was, where he got holes blown in him when they were in the Tokyo Empire or whatever it was. The Chinese Peninsula. Yeah. And he died out there, but he didn't really die. And then he died twice in season 2 in the same episode where he got all his holes blown in him, but he didn't die. And then at the end of that fight, he appeared dead. And then 2 episodes later, they drag him outside of the Nether, and then some other force says, yeah, he's going to make it.
Yeah, even though he's bleeding now from his right arm and his left leg.
Right.
Yep.
I mean, if you're going to put so much emphasis on him being dead, make a character die and add some true drama to the series.
It's almost like a little fairy tale right now. You know what I mean? It's like kiddie play. Nobody dies.
Nobody dies. I mean, of course people die. I mean, that dude did get decapitated.
Yeah, but we weren't invested. We weren't.
What was it, Rekka?
Is that the Star guy, or is that the
Star guy?
Star
guy, hell yeah.
Just getting blasted right through the chest. Technically, we were invested until we realized he was a terrible person.
We were invested for that episode. It was an episode long. You know what I mean? Or it might have been 2.
Yeah, I think it was 2.
I don't know. I might challenge you on that.
It was 1 episode for the...
My stars!
1 episode for the fight.
But to be able to get invested, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
But, yeah, so... That was another badass character that I kind of wanted to see develop. But
Yeah, he was a powerhouse.
He was a bad guy.
He was a bad guy, and then he gets blasted through the chest. So it's
Rekka?
yeah, Rekka.
My stars? No, he gets sniped. He gets frozen by the Jiggle
buddy
guy, and then he gets sniped by Arrow or something. And then,
by Show's protector.
Wasn't that through his head?
sniper. No, it's through his chest.
Oh, it was through his chest.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know why I thought it was head.
He gets sniped by Show's protector. Show's guardian.
Arrow. It was Arrow, wasn't it? Arrow.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
fire.
but it's a guardian though.
Yeah, yeah.
Because you have the Adolaverse, or what do they call them? The pillars. The pillars.
Yeah.
Yeah, the pillars, and then you have the guardian.
So the Guardians. Who's your favorite Guardian?
I can say one.
Go for it, Lance.
Well, in season 1, in the beginning of season 2, I really hated him. Haumea's guardian. Crap, I'm running a blank on his name right now. I'm trying to look through my notes.
I think I know what you're talking about. You talking about the black guy?
Yeah, the one who can
absorb the kinetic energy or whatever?
Yeah, and then fire it back.
Oh, what's his name? That's my favorite. Yeah, I was looking for his name.
Chiron. Yeah, Chiron. I hated him at first because the way he spoke was very offbeat, and his English speaker just didn't sound like he was invested in who this was. But then eventually he started showing his colors about how badass he was. And then I also he also in one episode he starts charging up like a fire Kamehameha wave or like a Kamehameha or a.
Oh, can I cut you for
sure
a quick second? I did want to mention that they do, as far as I know, as far as I picked up, they do have 2 little shout outs. They have a Captain America shield where the captain from Station 8 throws his armor or his shield, and it looks like Captain America's armor or his shield. Mm-hmm. And then they do have, what's his name, Jerome? The Guardian? Charon. They do have Charon. He does have a Ryu look.
I was going to say,
Ryu, a Street Fighter.
His Hadouken. Yeah, I put that in my notes. Kamehameha / Hadouken, little blast attack. I mean, that's such a basic kind of attack to use, but it makes you think of that, and it was pretty awesome. And then how he reflected that new Pillar's attack.
Bro, I thought he was
at the
dead.
moon.
I thought he
was going to die after he reflected it too, but at the same time, I guess I'm glad he survived.
Yeah, what was his name? The kid's name? Nadaku.
Yeah.
The little orange-haired kid that Stars turned into
the sixth pillar.
Yeah, sixth pillar. Yeah,
Nadaku's the sixth pillar.
Got the stars in the back of his head, and he always wants to please him and his mom.
Yep.
Bro, so let me talk about that. Coming from, obviously, me and Matt are fathers, coming from a background like that, dude, episode 17, I think it was, they really hit that note on families where they put a lot of pressure on these kids, man.
Season 2, 17.
Yeah, season 2, episode 17, my bad. But yeah, they really hit a note, especially for parents, obviously anybody can watch anime.
The pressure that they can put on kids and stuff.
Holy shit, man. They were digging into it with this kid, perfect scores, this and that. How'd you not get an A, this and that?
Right. I mean, we could also reflect on the Japanese culture because.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
That's just kind of how it is at the same time. But to reflect on that. But now that Nadaku's talked about a little bit, let's continue with favorite Guardians. Matt, you have a favorite Guardian?
I think only because of her ability is Ritsu.
What's her? I see you have her pulled up. Name her abilities. Or
she could do the...
And who she's protecting.
She was protecting the 5th pillar, so technically that'd be...
Inca,
yep.
Yeah, Inca. And she could do the necromancer stuff, so she could bring all the people back from the dead.
Yeah, I love that. I was so, just zombie stuff in general always piques my interest, and
some creepy shit.
Bringing that shit back, that was awesome.
Yeah.
What was her name again?
Her name is Ritsu.
Okay.
And what about you, Ricky?
Oh, Sharon, man. Like I said, you get to see, okay, he's obviously a guardian. He's obviously, there to protect the person that he's supposed to protect. And he will do anything for it. He would do anything for any of the pillars. You saw that when he took that blast from, what's his name? Nadaku.
Yep.
You see, a human side out of him, like a humble human side, where he's trying to ask, what's her name that he's guarding?
Haumea.
he's trying to ask her, like, these types of questions, trying to get shit right just so he does a good job. And, like, he gets kind of scared, when she yells at him, type of thing.
Yeah.
So, you see a human side. That's why I love him. I like him a lot. I wish he was a good guy. It's like one of those characters that you can kind of feel will turn into a good guy, but
definitely,
fun.
I can see that too.
Yeah,
like as soon as they finally put Haumea, I hate Haumea so much. I love her like little. Is she technically a plasma user? Like she negates Adola bursts and stuff like that. Like, she negates attacks. I don't think I would because plasma
she's
is
like
the only thing.
Electric, almost.
Yeah, she can't.
uses magnetism.
She can't negate plasma because Arthur is like her biggest nemesis. Just Haumea in general, when she sticks her tongue out, I can't fucking stand that.
Acts all crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I can deal with her craziness, but just something about the excessive tongue use, it just bothers the crap out of me. Like, I love how strong she is.
Yeah.
And that's awesome. And then when she's like whipping around the city like she's Spider-Man, that was pretty. I laughed at that. Like,
I thought of you right away. I know you're a huge Spider-Man fan, Lance.
Yep.
And I thought of you right away. She was like, because she got weakened, like she couldn't have her full extender powers or whatever. Yeah, she's swinging away.
Through Arthur's extension. Now that we're talking about the Guardians, I don't know. It's not that every one of them have their eyes covered, but I want to talk about their eyes being covered. Haumea's got that crown. Like, it looks like a crown. I don't know. It's just the upside down and the crown that's pulled over her eyes. And Chiron's got that bandana over his eyes. I guess those were the only two that come to mind. Was there more?
Haumea's a pillar.
She is a pillar.
She is a pillar.
Oh, good point. She's not a guardian. God, I messed that one up.
But that doesn't matter because Inca's a pillar and she has her eyes open.
But her guardian is the necromancer, and her hair is covering her eyes.
Oh, then you're talking about the Guardians then. Probably, I think all the Guardians have their eyes covered.
That's true.
Not all the pillars do. Technically, Shinra is a pillar.
Shinra's a pillar, but he doesn't have a guardian.
Not that we know of yet. He might have a guardian. That's another thing.
They were saying.
That's another thing I wanted to get into because.
You're talking about Showa Shinra, sorry.
No, that's another thing I want to get into because Shinra is a pillar.
Yeah.
Who's his guardian?
Company 8. I think they were trying to say that
but
at the end of season 2.
But that's what he believes.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? That's his belief. But obviously, the evangelist wants to appoint a guardian to everybody else.
Right, something to
so there's somebody
cover his weak spots.
There's a white clad out there that we haven't met yet. I believe that we haven't met yet that's Sheena's guardian.
Sure. I mean, they would definitely add a nice little twist to season 3 or something.
Or that we might have met that we don't know is a white clad.
Right.
The only person that could be
Arthur.
But
no,
he's too dumb.
No, but the only thing that I guess
he would make for a good pillar. I mean, for a good.
The only restrictions though is it's got to be somebody that hasn't seen their eyes.
Is that official though, or is this just something?
I thought we were talking about the Guardians.
You see Arrow's eyes; she gets her face ripped up, or like.
I forgot about Arrow. Arrow is a guardian.
Yeah, but still, when they're in the field of battle, they always have their eyes covered whenever they can.
But she still got hers ripped up during a battle, so technically.
But you know what I mean. But let's say speculation. Let's just hypothetical. Let's just say Arthur is Sheena's guardian, right? In battle, or whenever they're fighting the evangelist, they would have to have their eyes covered. You know what I mean? I wouldn't really try to assume that somebody in his company is one of their guardians. I'm just saying, I think there's a guardian that we haven't met yet.
Yeah, that would be true. Because if we're going to go on the base of their eyes being covered, everybody's eyes are wide open. They see everything. So we can't, there is no one, I can't think of anybody else in the entire series that hasn't seen.
No, so it's probably only people that are part of the White Clad.
Yeah.
That have guardians. But that doesn't, as Chiron proved, they will still protect Shinra
because he's a pillar.
Because he's a pillar, if he is going to die by the hands of somebody else.
While they're around. Because they need him alive.
Yes.
Very true. Yeah, you're right. You're right about that.
So that being said, back to the Chiron, and he was absorbing that kid's attack, Nanaku's attack. His blindfold almost got burned off of him. Like, you can see a little bit underneath, and I was sitting there waiting, like, please let this thing come off and let him see. I want to see if there's a difference between him being blindfolded and him seeing the real light. Like, I don't know. They don't even explain how they can be blindfolded and still see perfectly. Like, is it they're going to go like Dragon Ball and they can sense energy? Or
Well, they technically kind of do that with the Life Force. When
the Breath of Life?
Yeah, the Breath of Life.
Uh-huh.
So that might be something similar.
Honestly, I kind of just I get exactly what you're saying. I
Are
thought
we
about it.
Are we reading too deep into this for
Yeah.
anime?
Yeah, I thought about it too, but I'm like, honestly, like what I thought to myself was like, it's an anime. You know, they're gonna make you think. They can sense shit around you. Like, remember like the old school Daredevil with like Ben Affleck, like where you can like see his pulse,
see vibrations.
That's exactly what I think with anime. Like when they have somebody's eyes covered or their eyes closed, like they can see what Daredevil.
And I 100% agree because that was the first thing I thought of too.
Yeah, so it's just like a small like they didn't really explain it, but they just kind of like, oh, it's anime.
Right.
You know, just disregard it. You know.
Yep.
But yeah, no, that's a good point because that was pissing me off too. I was like, fuck it. I just gotta admit it's anime. Whatever. You know, they're not really gonna tell you every little fucking thing, but they do. Like Lance said before, they do get really scientific about a couple of things.
Yeah.
So I like that.
Who's the one that had the fire poo-poo blaster? Oh, she was one of the. Sorry, I only said that because it really. I was cracking up so much in that episode. That girl that has like the
monkeys that
not
shoot fire through their
like
their butts.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, like that was funny, and then it really pissed me off. Where like it took them so fucking long to defeat this one little robot, and then she has like 100 of them coming in. So you're telling me she's that powerful?
Right.
Get the fuck out of here, man.
Yeah,
but then who defeats them? I forgot. Somebody defeats them in like a swipe.
My note says Whiteclad shows up after the fire poo-poo blaster.
Inca starts fighting.
Yeah, Inca comes here with her infernals.
I know, but somebody defeats all those little robots because she has to call her big robot out. Oh, no. Hinawa? Hinawa? Yeah. Hinawa has her electricity. Never mind. We're all clear.
Hamea has electricity. Yeah. Hinawa is no, it's Hibana. Haomea is the pillar.
The pillar. Okay, Hamea has that electricity power where she can just get rid of them, and that's what happens.
Oh, that's right.
I forgot about that. Yep. Now that we're talking about it, what else you guys got, man? Like, I got another question for you.
So I do have a question. When you guys were first watching it, what was your initial reaction to Joker? How's that changed since?
Like when he was up on that training facility.
Yeah, when he was in the training facility. Yeah.
I thought for sure he was going to be the main bad guy. Okay. I thought, he introduced the idea that his brother's still alive.
Yep.
And I'm like, okay, well, now he's keeping him a hostage. And he's too powerful for Shinra to do anything against. But for some reason, he didn't kill Shinra at that moment.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, he's got a cliffhanger, and then I didn't know what to think too much other than he's got to be the bad guy.
From the rookie games?
Yep.
I thought the same thing. I thought he was a bad guy. I kind of wanted to believe that, you know, he was a bad guy, but the real bad guy was Victor Leet.
Hmm.
Because they do show him in a scene before that.
Yeah.
But
where they work together.
Yeah.
Or communicate, yeah.
So I wanted to believe that, you know, obviously I wanted to believe that Victor Leet was, you know, the mastermind behind all this. It turns out Joker's a whole different person. You know what I mean?
Right.
I kind of thought of the whole Android series in Dragon Ball Z, where you had that professor that creates these androids, whatever. Mm-hmm. But yeah, Joker was definitely a mystery from the get-go, but I was really excited to see him. He had a little bit more of a flair to the TV or to the anime. So it was interesting too. He didn't kill Shinra. So it was interesting to find out why he wanted him alive. What do you think, Matt?
Yeah, I definitely thought he was the bad guy until he didn't really do anything. I was like, all right, so what's going to be his purpose then? Because I didn't think he was a bad guy after the initial, but I was like, what's going on with this guy? Why are they introducing him if he's not going to be the bad guy kind of thing?
Right. Kind of just came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
You just want to talk about Giovanni?
Sure.
Because he was a odd character. I don't know about you guys, but when I first heard his voice, I automatically thought of Bane from Batman, from the Batman movies, because he had his mouth covered.
I can agree with you on that.
Yeah, they did a good job with the voice acting now.
Where he sounded masked perfectly. I mean, obviously because he's masked. Do you guys think he's actually a human? Because he's been worked on so much. Like, is there anything left of him?
Well, you saw the final episodes,
Right.
that
Like where
he's like an insect.
He became, quote unquote, more compatible with the insects. He basically turned into an insect himself.
Yeah. And I believe he was human because he even admits himself, like in the episode where he's like, only a person with an Adolaburst can connect with a person with an Adolaburst type of thing, can link
Right.
with it. Unless a person without a Adolaburst somehow got in contact with an Adolaburst. You know what I mean? So he admitted he was human, but then he also admitted that he experimented with his insects.
Oh yeah.
So he turned himself into an insect.
He's just
Insect. Before.
He's
He's
just
a mad scientist. That's what he is. Just
Yeah.
brought him to the extreme where he's can't go back. Because if when he is the disciple of, we'll call him Vector, but it's not Vector. It's the scientists, not the scientists, but the people who helped create the Amaterasu.
Vulcan's family?
Vulcan, yeah, he's a disciple of their. So he learned about mechanical items from his grandfather, from Vulcan's grandfather. So his dad and Giovanni actually learned under.
That's right.
So it's
Oh yeah, sure. I forgot about that.
that right there shows that he was at least once human. It has gone so far beyond. There's no turning back, which is kind of what they've shown.
Yeah.
At that last fight, She-Ra.
But I guess another moment I want to bring up is at the end of season 2 when Giovanni gets cut down by Arthur. He's got those little feelers that can sense like emotional and psychological thoughts and whatever. And then Arthur just goes mind blank, and because of his dumbness, he's able to defeat Giovanni. That gave me a good giggle.
Man, now that you bring that up, there's another scene way before that. Arthur is so dumb. Arthur is so dumb that
How dumb is he?
he forgot he was right-handed.
Oh my god.
Bro,
Why is nothing
come
work like
on,
this?
Why
man.
does this not feel right?
Bro, like, seriously? He's getting his ass beat, and he has Excalibur in his left hand. He's getting his ass beat the whole time. And then, once he's, like, had enough, he's like, oh, wait, Excalibur's not on the right hand. It doesn't feel right. You're so dumb that you forgot what hand you were, like, left-handed, right-handed? Come on, man.
Damn, that was good.
It was a good comedy thing. And then the bad guy was like, "There's no way you can defeat me just by switching hands." And then he does.
Yeah. It's because his imagination. It's his will. What do they describe it as? His will to fight or something. That's what gives him power.
I do like that, though.
Mhm.
It's really, it's just awesome. Just the imagination where, like, Vulcan makes him a horse. And so he thinks he's
donkey.
like a knight.
Yeah.
A knight in shining armor riding into a battle with a horse, a great stallion.
Yep.
It's like, dude, I love that. That's awesome.
And then when they go to the Nether again, and he's talking and trying to command all the troops, and they talk about just follow the Arthur guidebook because
Yep.
play along with it so that he can be strong. It's like, oh, that's funny. They made a guidebook for him.
It's that Arthur in that aspect is so unique to anime that like I love seeing how stupid he is because it's always and how much it makes him stronger just because of his imagination.
Another character we need to talk about is that one kid from Station 4. Oh man, what's his name? He can like almost emit enough power with a special attack that Captain Burns does.
Yeah, that's in my notes somewhere. He's got the ink that he can use. I think he was trained under Burns, but yeah, he has that like
Fire ink.
he can ink himself up, and all of a sudden he's got like a big power boost. That was during Ogun, yeah.
Bro, that kid's a badass.
That was during the Chinese Peninsula arc.
That kid's a badass, and I feel like he will be joining season 3. Like he would be joining. A lot more season 3.
He did not get enough screen time because he's obviously strong. But yeah, he was like skateboarding through the air.
And that reminded me of Static Shock, man.
That was exactly.
Cool.
That's what I was thinking the entire time.
That was pretty cool, man.
Static Shock was a great show. But yeah, this dude just gets this huge power boost. Kid was strong, that's for sure.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see if he comes back.
Okay, well, since we're still in that same area, we're back in the Chinese Peninsula. Let's talk about Amaterasu version 2.0, or even if it was the precursor. I think it was the second, version 2.
Technically, it was the first one.
It was the first one? Oh, okay. And you had that Infernal with all the Infernal dogs and all that. He was, whatever. They were collecting tablets, and they were talking about how all that refers to pi, and fucking Arthur says circumference. I thought that was pretty funny.
Yeah, I like that.
I don't know what pi is, but I know circumference.
Yep. They, just like Pokemon with the Golden GS Ball, they never talked about it again. They introduced that, and then the rest of Season 2 went on, and they stopped talking about what's going on with that. I mean, I hardcore expect an answer in Season 3.
Or at least later, sometime in the manga. I can see that because it'll help tie it all together. Because they do find out. The biggest thing was they find out that the Amaterasu is only works because of basically human sacrifices.
Yeah,
so that's,
which powers the Amaterasu as an Adolaverse.
Yes, and that's going to be a huge one right there.
Do we have any insight on who is powering both the Amaterasus? They just said that an Adolaverse is powering, and that's what's making everyone live.
Well, the Chinese Peninsula is powered by that one demon that we saw. Well, not demon, but that one.
That chick?
That chick that we saw.
The Protect the Forest girl?
Yeah, yep. Yeah, the Amaterasu is powered by somebody else that we don't know yet.
Right.
So I think it's the original pillar, or the first pillar.
From 250 years ago,
that
Cataclysm
who has all of that hatred that takes over Shinra. I think it's her.
Yeah, we didn't get too much on her.
No, we really only get like the glimpses because he has the dreams about her.
Yeah,
and then when he gets taken over
possessed by her,
that's it. So I think that's who it is.
Ooh, I guess
that's the same boat with you.
I guess that's another thing I'm a little disappointed about. In the beginning of Season 2, Shino was possessed, and he went to that form where he was fucking possessed and badass. I expect that to happen at least another time.
Like somebody have control of his body again, like when Arthur had to fight him and shit.
Yeah. Like
I don't think it will. Honestly, I feel like with these animes, obviously this gives some time, but I feel like he had enough time to control that to not get it.
I feel like they straight up forgot about it for a while. Like they just continued with the main story and they forgot about that this chick is in the back of his head.
There are some times where they kind of just skip over some stuff.
Yeah,
it feels like they skip over some stuff.
Yeah, I think the writing was a little sloppy on that aspect specifically. Not to say that it was a bad story, but I think if they would have paid a little bit more attention and incorporated her, because I feel like they introduced her, Shinra got crazy, and then Arthur stopped him, and that was it. And then she got sprinkled in here and there, but it's not like anything came of it.
Also, it was how they introduced Poema, because Haumea, because she kind of allowed for it to happen by somewhat taking over Shinra, basically allowing the passage to happen, and then whoever that girl is, kind of did the rest.
We should also talk about. I don't know how much more I just wanted to say how she took on the form of the priest girl in Company 8. How Shinra always referred to the vision Iris. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Because that's who he would see, but that's not necessarily who she was, or is it? I don't know.
It might be.
That's a great point because they even mentioned that, where they kind of have a little cutscene with that. I believe is when Shinra joins her to baptize the weapons.
Yep.
Of the church.
In Season 2. Yeah. While we're at this moment real quick, the father bursts into an infernal out of nowhere. They didn't explain that one. At this point, we know that bugs turn people infernal.
Not all.
Not all of them?
There's still spontaneous human combustion.
Yes. There is quote-unquote spontaneous. It's not necessarily 100% the bugs. Okay.
Yeah.
Then never mind. I was going to poke the fact that this guy just turned into infernal out of nowhere. Was there a white clad in the area? Because after he turned, and it almost felt like a filler episode to me, but they didn't really go into detail about anything.
I kind of like episodes like that because you kind of see their outside moments. You know what I mean?
It might be a filler to the story, but at the same time, they're putting backstory and character development, and that's the important part.
Because it shows Iris has some doubt, and then
the doubt. I think that was a very important part for her development, was her doubt.
And then Shinra kind of helps. Like, you can still believe and still have some doubt.
Right.
So, now that we're into this episode, this is a very religious anime, obviously. People know it. especially in this episode, it really hit on the point. Like, people do have, disbelief or whatever, belief or whatever. But I really like what Shinra did. Like, they kind of uncovered that, this religion was created from White Clad that can morph his face, basically.
Yep, that guy.
Yeah. And, it really hit home for a lot of people that are, very religious. Do you still believe in what you believe in, besides knowing the fact that, it was created in a false pretense, I guess?
Right.
And how would you continue on with this? Mm-hmm. And, Shinra, talking to Iris, that was later in the episode, but before Shinra talked to Iris, he was talking to that, I don't know if he's a lieutenant, but it was that one dude from Station 1. And basically explaining how he still believes in the sun. The sun was still there from the very beginning, and that's his belief, and it's never going to change. But that episode was really fucking very deep in the whole religious aspect of it,
right? Like, they found proof that their religion isn't true because it's been based off that face guy who would fake it all. But with that being said, sorry, I wasn't really going to go anywhere with that, but the evangelist. That I'm just gonna call it her, the one that's giving grace to everybody, and grace is with a capital G because that's how Shinra was able to break the speed of light barrier and how Sho can slow down time. That's how they get their super boosted attacks.
They're Dola links.
They're Dola links. I also wanted to ask, how did that girl from Matarasu who gave Shinra 1 second's worth of grace, how is she able to just get that power?
So they're all from this other world called Dola.
Yes, aka Hell.
Yes. Well, at least that's how.
That was in my notes somewhere because they said that it was like Hell or something.
That's how we would describe it as
right.
Religious term is Hell, but it's essentially another world, and she was able to give essentially that Dola power from Hell to Shinra for just the moment. So this
for 1 second.
For 1 second.
So
I guess moving at the speed of light, you almost.
That's why I laughed.
So much
I laughed before Shinra laughed. Like, dude, you don't even need a second. If this dude can stop time or move through time without
moving at the speed of light is almost infinite time.
Yeah. Yep. So I was like, 1 second, that's fine. Mm-hmm. So they kind of delayed that. I was like, okay, I know what's coming.
Right.
And it was. So they're from the same place. They're almost aliens, you could call them.
Well, they explained that the bugs came from a meteor.
Yes.
I got that in my notes in the end of season 2 or whatever. But I want more information on that. These bugs are coming from a whole other area of the universe. I don't know what the hell's going on in the origins of that part of the universe.
That'd be interesting to see if they bring it up.
Fucking a real hell out there.
So what else you guys got?
I feel like we can talk about Tamaki and Maki. The fact, just for starters, I don't know about you guys, but distinguishing the two in season 1 was so goddamn hard. Like, who is Tamaki? Who is Maki? Who has what powers? But after watching everything and taking notes and whatever, Tamaki is the one with the cat powers.
Yep.
And Maki is the one with the two little flames that control like those little rocket punches. Is kind of the one that Vulcan creates. Sputter. Thank you. Sputter. There's a second one. Sputter and
there's a second one. I can't remember.
It's in my notes. It's in my notes. Anyway, Maki's the one with the military dad.
Yep.
With the badass dad who just loves his little daughter, which is really funny. I always got a kick out of that. I'm glad. Season 2 was super great and getting into everybody's backstory without.
I love that. I love that.
Without destroying the whole idea of where season 2 was going to end up going.
Yeah.
So I'm glad I went into Maki. Maki's cool. Maki was more badass in season 1 when she had Flutter and whatever doing her attacks.
Yeah, then they turn her into a witch.
No, that's Tamaki.
No, that's Maki. Tamaki turns into
the cat.
The cat, but they also make her like a sister.
Yeah, that's where I thought you were going. Yeah, Tamaki turned into a priestess. That's another thing. That's what I was going to get into eventually. Was I don't know how you guys feel, but I did not like the idea that Tamaki turned into a priest. I wanted her to just be her badass. I just wanted her to be a badass.
Well, she wasn't really a badass because she had that power, but she didn't really know what to do with it.
Right. Like she had some speed. She had
Like she
tail.
went to school where she went, but her life was brought up to be a sister.
Yeah.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Damn, did I miss that?
Yeah, they actually revisited that in season 2.
Yeah, so
They were talking
she
about-
goes to school to be a sister because of her lucky
Lecture? Is that the word? Yeah.
She basically just joins the Fire Force.
Okay.
But that's why she joins.
I don't know why I didn't put those two.
The
She
first
joined
one.
Fire Force Station 1 because of Rika.
The Stars guy.
Rekka.
Rekka.
And because she was essentially going to school to be a sister, she never took the test to be a sister, essentially is what it was. And then
Too much of a hoe.
Bro,
But
her
not really.
clothes fall off. Come on, man. You trip on a stone and your clothes fall off? Come on.
Not only that, but like randomly, all of a sudden, Sheena's hand is under her bra and on her boob, and
A lot of fan service. Well, not a lot of fan service, but there's definitely
in the beginning.
explained fan service.
In the beginning, there was a lot of fan service for her, at least. And
oh,
then
don't get me wrong, season 2 had a lot of the fan service too.
Well, not as much with her, but there was still a little bit, just not as much. At least with Tamaki.
I don't know.
Yeah, this one definitely had quite a bit of fan service, though. Just in general, this whole anime does.
So, Matt, let me ask you real quick. We've been talking about this season 1, season 2, Fire Force. Great anime. People are getting into it. It's very popular. We're watching the anime. Me and Lance are watching anime. What do you have for the manga?
One thing I do want to bring up that we did really bring up is the different generations of the fire users. So technically, all Infernals are considered a first generation. So basically, that means they can't do anything with fire. They turn the spontaneous combustion just turns them into an Infernal.
So, fire zombies.
Yes.
Okay.
A second generation, essentially the same thing, but they can manipulate fire. So, like, they can't spontaneously combust because they can manipulate the fire. And then a third generation uses it as a power. So they can manipulate fire as however they want.
They can create it.
And then they can create it. Right. So that's the main differences between the three.
So, can I cut you in here real quick and ask, what about, so you said first generation is people that turn Infernal.
Yeah.
What about the Infernals that still have
Like the one that Princess Ivana or whatever.
self-conscious, self-conscious.
The self-conscious one that the princess stole.
What would they be considered as?
They're still technically first generation because they still turn into an Infernal. They just have a little bit of consciousness left over. So it's kind of like
1.5.
1.5. Yeah.
Sure.
And they don't really go into it too much. They're just like, oh, this is an anomaly. And then Hibana was like, wow, I want to study this.
Yeah, because that dude kind of disappears. Like,
He dies.
he does? I don't remember him dying.
I think Arthur just...
Who? Crap. The one that was conscious, the Infernal that became unconscious that Princess took.
In the very beginning.
It's like episode 8 or something like that.
He used to be a firefighter, then he started killing a bunch of people. And then right after he got sentenced innocent, he turned into an Infernal.
Fire Station 8 and 5 fought for him.
Yep.
And then whatever happened to him?
I think he dies.
I don't
Because
remember.
I think
whatever.
Arthur...
After that, I don't know.
5 took him in, did experiments, and controlled him.
Yeah.
And then when 8 invaded 5,
Arthur fights him.
Arthur fights him and
Kills him.
yeah, that was what happened?
I'm pretty sure that's what happened. Yep. I remember
Okay.
that a little bit.
Okay, I guess I blanked on.
That was, 40 episodes ago. So it's
Yeah,
okay.
it's been a while.
Anyways, go for it.
So there weren't a whole lot of differences. Just so everybody knows, season 2 ends on chapter 174.
Damn.
Yes.
You read a lot.
Yes. It took a while. It definitely took me a while.
And each page was more than a handful of slides too. They weren't like cheaping out.
Yeah, it was a lot. It was definitely a lot. And the anime does a very good job as following true to the manga. There's no filler episodes or anything like that. Everything you see in the anime is what you see in the manga. There's a couple little, maybe an added scene here or there, but other than that, nothing changes. So it's as far as I'm concerned, or as far as the manga minute is concerned, I don't have a whole lot. One thing we did miss is that guy who can change people's faces. His name is Jonah.
Jonah?
Jonah. That's his name.
Yeah, I don't think I remember that from the anime.
I don't remember that, but
And
they might have said it.
He turns into Raffles the First.
Yeah, they did.
Yep.
They did
Oh,
say
they
that.
definitely explained
So
that.
that's Jonah.
That's the reason why they can explain that the whole religion itself is a fake, because
yes.
it's all fake because of him. That means that dude is 250 years old.
Plus.
Plus.
And,
Which we need to know more about that, because that dude only showed his face like twice in all of season 2. Like once in the middle-ish and once in the final episode.
And
Look completely different.
You'll probably see a lot more of him in season 3. Just like a slime, I stopped as soon as I got through season 2. And one thing, I don't know if they really talk about it in the anime, I don't remember, is that they talk about, they call anybody with an Adola burst, they call them a 4th generation fire user.
Oh.
So all the pillars, they consider them 4th generation users.
Oh, I think that I might have actually said that, because I think, who is the one of the newer pillars, the crazy one who wants danger?
Inca.
Inca. Wasn't she saying something along the lines of her being like even a 5th pillar? Like
No, 4th. She's on my
oh, she was
4th generation. She talks about being a 4th generation.
Sorry, it's 4th generation. I don't know why I said pillar.
Yeah.
But you kind of have to put 2 and 2 together
Okay.
as far as being a 4th generation and an Adola user.
So, can you break down what the generations are? Like, the 3rd?
Yeah,
you already did.
Yeah.
So,
you already did.
yeah.
One was the Infernals. 2 was
Oh, yeah.
They control fire, but they can't manipulate it. The third one.
Okay, that's fine. With that being said, going back to manipulating and controlling, I want to go back to Benimaru versus, I think it was Maki. Benimaru has an X in his eye and a circle in his eye, and the whole reason for that one in the beginning of season 1 was to signify that he can both manipulate fire and he can create fire, and that's what made him such a powerful person. But at the same time, couldn't Maki do the same? No, never mind. She was making her sputters out of already used flames.
Yeah.
Okay, I was gonna say, why doesn't Maki have eyes similar? But
all I know about Benimaru, bro, is that they are all afraid of him.
Yep. It's too badass.
And they better stay that fucking way.
Oh my god.
That's my boy, man. I'm telling you, man.
Benimaru, at the end of the next season, if season 3 is going to be the final season, I'm just saying, he better be walking away a fucking hero.
Like I
He
said,
better not
man,
die
like I mentioned
either.
before, it took me a while to get into it, and like I love the storyline, I love the whole plot line, whatever. But give me some more Benimaru, Captain Station
Burns.
1, Burns, and Joker, man. I'm telling you,
Oh,
Give me
they've
some more
got
of
some
that.
history to uncover yet.
give me some more of that, and I'll be good.
Any more manga?
Dr. Giovanni talks about phototaxasis, which is basically a bodily movement of a modal organism in response to light. So the bugs, that's what they're doing, is phototaxasis.
They're responding to light?
Yes. So they're basically bringing the light out and making people turn into infernals.
Okay. I like how scientific and these big fire terms that they're using, like to us little commoners that don't know anything. Like they use so many awesome words, like tephrosis. But tephrosis is the one where they used up so much of the oxygen in their bodies, and they burned out. Like Conroe was the one that had tephrosis. Was that?
Yep.
Am I using that right?
Yep.
Like just all these cool terms. I really appreciate all this stuff.
And then one thing that's big that I just know is going to play a big part is there's a character that kills the captain in
Station 8?
not Station 8, but the captain from right at the very end of season 2. Captain
Oh, Station 2?
Burns?
No, Station 1 is Burns.
the captain that dies right at the
Oh, the grandfather of the healer chick.
yes.
The one that gets hung by his own...
Oh, it's
Strings.
yeah, I know.
They
I can't remember what
I
station
think he
he's from.
starts with an H.
But he was like all horny about.
He was a masochist.
Yeah.
He was 100% a masochist.
Oh, yeah, he wanted the fire.
And so they call it a suicide just because he's like, well, this guy's a masochist and he just kind of got caught up in his own knives. But it's like the
His
guy
own-
had knives going from head to foot. How did he kill himself? Or,
Right.
how did he kill himself that way? And in the in the manga, there is a guy that calls himself the Butcher, and the only reference you get is you see his golden. The captain talks about his golden arm.
Yeah, because they show that in the anime where the guy had a golden arm and he levitated a bunch of other like metallic items.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't know. I'm just saying metallic because I don't really remember if they were all golden or not, or if.
But all the straps that hung the captain, and then a bunch of knives get brought through him. You see that in the Adola link with Shinra.
Yeah, because Shinra saw it, and as soon as he became conscious after waking up from training with Benimaru, the first thing he says is whatever his name
Captain so-and-so dead.
Is he dead?
Yeah.
And then no one was like, they just glossed over it. Like, why wouldn't Benimaru be like, oh yeah, what the hell are you talking about? You know, what was that, whatever.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, so that's he calls himself the Butcher, and he has an arm made of gold.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's probably what we've seen. Is just we don't know his name yet.
Yeah,
in the anime world.
Anime, sure.
Yeah, like I said, they did. Oh, the one thing they do say is, what is Benimaru trying to teach them to use? I watched it. I don't remember the exact term.
It's in the final episode. I got a note. It's called the Press of Death.
Press of Death? No, it's something strength. They're talking about specific strength.
Hysterical strength.
Hysterical strength.
What?
Yeah, they call it hysterical strength. They're using hysterical strength to reach the precipice of death.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
And in the manga, they just call it hysterical strength, fire, super strength.
Yeah, it's
So
basically their Super Saiyan.
That's
form.
another thing that I fucking love. This is the second time they went back to train with Benimaru.
Yeah.
Bro,
The source of power, man.
take advantage of that shit.
Uh-huh.
Benimaru training you? Like, this dude doesn't give a fuck. Like, this dude reminds me of, like, a regular 90s kid with a skateboard, not giving a fuck. And when you kick him out of the fucking party, he's like, bro, fuck you, you know.
I am the party.
I am the party. Exactly, bro. Like, that's it. So, when it comes to Benimaru, take what's given to you and appreciate it.
Uh-huh.
So, yeah, at the end of the season 2, their training with Benimaru is fucking phenomenal.
Yeah, that's how it fucking ends, too.
Yeah, I fucking hate it. I hate it. I thought they were going to bring out another episode, like, explaining, you know, once they got their powers mastered, what happens next. But, man, Benimaru, a trainer to these kids, these rookies. Not even rookies anymore. Probably in their second year now.
I think so.
Yeah, probably second year. But
yeah,
I mean, training these kids.
I know Shinra said that he was training like a year or so ago. Like not much time has passed at all between seasons 1 and 2. Like it's all pretty consistent. It's within like a year's time.
So was that it for your?
Yep, that's all I really got as far as. So, like I said, they did a really good job as far as the manga and anime are concerned. Keeping it
all right.
close by. So, Ricky, would you say that's what you're looking forward to for season 3?
Oh man, like I said, season 3, man. Yeah, I'm glad Lance didn't go first because he'd take my answer. But
the obvious.
Give me some more Benimaru and Joker. That's all I ask for. Give me some more on that shit, and I'll be happy. You know, obviously Shinra's a great, you know, storyline, story plot, whatever. Main character, but Shinra, or not Shinra, but Benimaru and Joker just have that ominous.
Too much more to know.
They just have that mysterious shit, and I just want to know more about them. So, what about you, Lance?
I want to see more of this Press of Death shit. That was the cliffhanger of the end of season 2, and this is going to be the super. This has to be the Super Saiyan of Shinra, essentially. I don't remember what they called it in.
You talking about special attack?
No, not the special attack. I was going to refer to My Hero Academia, but that's whatever. I want to see more of that. I want to see Shinra's evolution. I want to see Arthur's evolution because both of them were powering up. We need to see more of Captain Burns, and we need to see more of Joker because both of them got their eyes burned out. Also, in lieu with that, the people with the scars. The people with the scars are the ones that have proof that they had links with Adola, which means Conroe and that other chick or some. There was a chick at the end of season 2. I can't remember her name right now.
Yeah, she's the captain of 6.
Yeah. So the scars need to be further exploited, and I almost want to say that I expect season 3 to be the finale just of the series itself. I don't know how. That's just what I'm getting at.
I know 280 chapters, so I'm gonna go with nods.
We're
Season
so
3.
we're 170
Or
as of season 2,
174 as of season 2.
and there's still an additional 100 chapters, and it's not necessarily completed yet.
No, it's not done yet.
Okay, so we can probably expect 4 seasons at least. At least.
Yep.
So I would also like to see. Okay, so in episode 17 of season 2, Haijima agreed to back up Vulcan to create a newer and better Amaterasu that was not going to create, or that wouldn't have demanded an Adola burst to power essentially the world, the city, whatever the Amaterasu is powering.
It's an energy source.
Yeah, it's an energy source. So Vulcan promised to come through with not needing that Adola burst. So I want to see Vulcan coming through with that. And crap, I forgot what the other one I was going to say at this moment. But what's the next one? What do you guys expect?
Pretty much everything you guys have covered. I want to see what happens with the other captains, see what happens, and then see what happens with Shinra's abilities. I think that's going to be a big one. Is just what does he do with his abilities, and then also seeing if they find the rest of the pillars, if they do that in season 3, or what's going to happen with that one. That'll be interesting. Who the other pillars are and what their abilities are going to be.
At this moment, do we know the max amount of pillars?
8.
There is
8
a.
pillars.
Do we have 7? Are we missing one?
6. Because the kid was the 6th pillar.
Okay, so they still need to introduce a couple more.
Yeah, 2 more.
That's good to know.
That concludes today's episode of Fire Force. Thank you everybody for listening to the Anime Lounge podcast. Please rate, review, and follow us on Facebook and Instagram at the Anime Lounge podcast.